Hello and welcome to my West Texas A&M Risk Management course case study presentation titled The December 2015 North Texas Tornado System. My name is Mike Campbell and I am a captain for the Farmers Branch Fire Department. I've chosen this particular incident because it occurred so close to my house in Caddo Mills, Texas. The presentation will cover the events leading up to the tornado, the groups affected, some financial losses, lessons learned, as well as other highlights you may find interesting. I hope you enjoy the next few minutes and gain some insight on how the tornadoes affected so many North Texans. This picture was taken in Garland, Texas, off of Interstate 30, right next to the Bass Pro Shops, looking southwest. This is a great picture of the tornado looking southwest into Dallas County near Bass Pro Shop in Garland, Texas off of Interstate 30. This is a pretty dramatic photo of the tornado from Garland, Texas at the Bass Pro Shop near I-30, and this is looking southwest into Dallas County. This is a fairly dramatic photo of the largest of the 9 tornadoes that affected North Texas. This is actually in Garland, Texas, from the Bass Pro Shop area next to I-30, and this is looking southwest into Dallas County. The system on December 26, 2015 created 9 individual tornadoes in North Texas as well as 3 in Central Texas. Some cities involved in the system included Hillsboro, Hubbard, Maypearl, Ovilla, Ennis. The largest tornado affected Garland and Rowlett. Went north to Farmersville, Copeville, Blue Ridge, and Eustis, and as far east as Emory and Sulphur Springs. The series of tornadoes left 13 dead and an estimated 634 people injured. There was a very strong cold front across most of North Texas and Oklahoma and an area of low pressure near the Red River. Ahead of the front, dew points were in the 70s. It was an uncharacteristically warm day after Christmas, and the cold front that moved in created an unstable environment that created the tornadoes. A tornado warning was issued for most of North Texas during the afternoon and evening hours of December 26th, and a warning is different than a watch. A watch is defined as atmospheric conditions that are favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes. What we experienced was a true tornado warning, which is defined as a severe thunderstorm that has developed and has either produced a tornado or radar has indicated intense low-level rotation in the presence of atmospheric conditions that are conducive to tornado development. The largest of the tornadoes, which was in Garland and Rowlett, occurred at approximately 6:45 p.m. and traveled an estimated 13 miles. Here is a small illustration of the counties that were affected by the tornadoes. The tornadic activity began as far south as Hillsboro. It moved north up towards the city of Blue Ridge, and some of the tornadoes splintered off into northeast Texas, including Sulphur Springs. The most serious and dangerous of all the tornadoes touched down in Garland, Texas, where a confirmed EF4 tornado caused 10 deaths. 9 of these people died while being thrown while traveling on President George Bush Turnpike over the I-30 overpass. An additional person died as a result of the collapsed home. As you can see in the photograph on the right, complete neighborhoods were demolished. I drove through this neighborhood personally 4 days after the tornado, and it was interesting to see how one half of the neighborhood had minor damage, siding, shingles off of their roof, while the other half of the neighborhood that was only 50 to 100 feet away, houses were completely destroyed all the way down to the foundation. On the previous slide, I referenced the Garland and Rowlett tornado as a confirmed EF4. That is in reference to the enhanced Fujita scale. The picture to the right highlights the differences between the enhanced Fujita scale tornadoes, which start off as an EF0 and can escalate to an EF5. The slide also shows the wind speeds that fall within the parameters of those particular tornadoes and the damage that these tornadoes cause, which range from an EF0 has light damage all the way to an EF5, which is considered incredible damage. As you can see, the relative frequency of a tornado advancing to the EF4 category is 0.66%, which is very rare. Research has shown that tornadoes in the EF4 category can take well-constructed and framed houses and take them all the way down to the foundation. They can also lift up cars and large objects, pick them up, and throw them incredible distances. There was an estimated 634 people injured from the series of tornadoes from December 26, 2015, and as this slide shows, 468 of these people were injured just in the Garland and Rowlett tornado. There was an estimated 65,000 plus homes which lost power, some for days, and estimated damage was in the neighborhood of $26.8 million. The storm hit so fast, and maybe because it was close to Lake Ray Hubbard, there was reports of 6 to 10 inches of rainfall created flash floods in high occupancy residential areas of Rowlett and Garland. This series of tornadoes has been considered the deadliest tornado disaster in the Dallas-Fort Worth area since the, quote, Dallas tornado of 1957. It's also the highest tornado death count in the United States of America for the month of December since 1953. It's very rare timing for what is considered a wedge tornado because most of these tornadoes develop during the warm spring and early summer months. These two photos capture the devastation of the EF4 wedge tornado in Garland. The photo on the left is a picture of Highway 30 and the George Bush Turnpike, where 9 people lost their lives. And the picture on the right is the same Highway 30 overpass close to President George Bush Turnpike, and it shows the amazing amount of rain that dropped in a short period of time that caused flash floods in the area. A little background information on wedge tornadoes. A wedge tornado is characteristic of at least as wide as it is tall and are more threatening than a single tornado due to their large size, and they also tend to last longer. They are notorious for causing major damage and producing potential F4 and F5 tornadoes. They are large tornadoes that have more than one vortices, and according to the AccuWeather expert senior meteorologist Dan Kotulowski, they can be thought of as, quote, a massive cloud that produces a tornado but has many other smaller tornadoes around the center of the massive cloud. Wedge tornadoes form when warm and humid air, typically from the Gulf of Mexico, collides with the cold and dry air from the north. The collision creates instability in the atmosphere, and they usually occur during the months of April, May, and June. And as the diagram shows on the right, you can see the hot air rising, the cold air falling, which creates the strong winds and creates the beginning of the tornado. Pre-established mutual aid contracts made resources immediately available to the communities of Garland, Rockwall, and Rowlett. Garland and Rowlett and mutual aid fire and police departments performed house-to-house searches in the initial phases after the tornado. TIFMAS, which stands for the Texas Intrastate Fire Mutual Aid System, has pre-planned mobilization systems in place to make statewide uses of local resources. The local and state government officials collaborated to make the most efficient use of the resources made available. Disasters, whether they be natural or man-made, have a way of bringing communities together. Volunteer organizations as well as individuals were used in Rockwall and Garland to full potential to provide food, water, portable generators, and emotional support to those in need. Recovery was initially slow, however, nearly all of the houses destroyed in Garland and Rowlett have been rebuilt. The storage facility shown on the right is currently being rebuilt as a multi-story storage facility and is near completion. Several apartment buildings and local businesses have chosen not to be rebuilt. Lessons that I have taken away from the December 26 tornadoes. I have learned that tornadoes are not isolated to the typical tornado months of the spring and early summer months. The collaboration of multiple North Texas municipalities in offering assistance was prompt and effective in limiting further loss of life. And as with all aspects in life, communication can always be improved to aid in limiting confusion and any inappropriate delays in resource distribution.